Hello there, it's Elle here from Vegan FTA, coming at you today with more stories that can be found over on veganfta.com. While you're there, consider signing up to our newsletter so you can stay in the loop. If you like finding out about these stories, then please click that subscribe button because there are more to come. New calls to ban Greyhound racing in Aotearoa after more dogs die. On 24th of May 2024, a Greyhound named Rapido Scud died in a race at Hattrick Raceway in Wanganui after collapsing at the lure. This incident has prompted animal protection organisations to renew their call for a Greyhound racing ban in the country. The day before this tragic death, the Racing Integrity Board fined trainer Jack Johnson $1,000 and suspended him from racing for 12 months after his Greyhound Big Time Heaven was found to have unsafe levels of arsenic in her urine after a race at Christchurch's Addington Raceway. Emma Brodie, campaign manager of Save Animals from Exploitation, said to RNZ, "This heart-wrenching incident follows closely on the heels of the deaths of two other dogs, Javita and Palawa Queen, who suffered catastrophic fractures at Addington Raceway in Christchurch just 8 days prior and had to be euthanized. In fact, since the Greyhound racing industry was formally put on notice on 2nd of September 2021 for repeated animal welfare failings, there have been 2,529 injuries, 268 fractures, and 25 deaths." We see this in industries where animals are raced, they end up being severely injured and end up being euthanized, or as we call it, killed. It's a really dangerous sport, and can it be called a sport if the participants haven't consented? It is deeply upsetting that dogs continue to suffer catastrophic welfare outcomes while we await the government's decision on the future of the industry. We urge Racing Minister Winston Peters to take decisive action and call time on Greyhound racing in Aotearoa to protect these gentle animals from any further harm. Furthermore, the recent charges against Jack Johnson demonstrate that even outside of racing, greyhounds in this industry are subjected to neglect and confinement in harmful conditions. We see time and time again cases like this where they are neglected, their needs aren't considered, and is that really a surprise when they are again put into a sport that they didn't consent to? In March, 3 dogs died in 1 week, and Greyhound Racing New Zealand suspended racing for 5 weeks at Manukau Stadium because of a concerning increase in injuries. A recent independent poll commissioned by animal welfare group RSPCA showed that 74% of New Zealanders would vote in favour of banning greyhound racing. So that's a large proportion of people who would indeed be in favour of seeing an end to greyhound racing. And rightly so, because it is an exploitative practice that again doesn't consider the needs of the animals and has them as unwilling participants in a sport. Animals are not ours for our entertainment, they are theirs and theirs alone. Let us know down below if you would like to see an end to greyhound racing. Our next story is long-term vegan Charlotte McShane wins 2024 Oceania Triathlon Super Sprint. The Oceania Triathlon has a new vegan continental champion. On May 3rd, long-term vegan Charlotte McShane took a win in the sprint. The challenging race attracted the elite from Australia, New Zealand, and the islands. "Anytime you have the chance to win a race, it's super nice," Charlotte says. "Being able to grab the tape and hold it up is special, so I definitely appreciate it a lot more than I might have done when I was a little bit younger." Charlotte openly shares how her vegan lifestyle contributes to her athletic performance. She says, "I've been vegan for a very long time and I believe it's the right diet for me. It's the right way of living for me, so if others are inspired that an athlete can be a vegan, I think that's great." Charlotte has competed competitively for many years. She is very used to the standard Olympic distance and has competed twice at the Commonwealth Games. In 2013, she won the World ITU Under-23 Triathlon Championships in London, winning a tight race that included a 750-metre swim, 20-kilometre cycle, and 5-kilometre run. I'm getting out of breath just imagining that. Athletes are amazing, and the fact that you can be an elite vegan athlete really breaks the stereotypes. Outside of competing, Charlotte is a devoted animal lover who often spends time with her dogs and family. Her passion for animals extends beyond her pets as she actively supports animal rights in her dietary choices. As a vegan, she enjoys experimenting with new recipes whenever her busy schedule permits. And our final story we did cover in a live stream. Make sure you're subscribed and you click that bell notification so that you can be notified of our streams when they go live. But it seems important to reiterate for those of you who didn't see it. Biggest exposé ever of dozens of RSPCA-Assured farms in the UK. Now, if you didn't see, Animal Rising partook in the largest exposé in the UK of British farms, specifically ones that are RSPCA-Assured, so they should indeed be the highest welfare standards. And what they saw was sickening. On 9th of June 2024, the UK animal rights organisation Animal Rising released the largest farm investigation in UK history, exposing what they say is systemic cruelty over 40 farms under the RSPCA-Assured scheme. They carried out over 60 undercover investigations and claimed that they found widespread suffering in every single one. It's important to note here, for perhaps some irony, that the RSPCA stands for Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and what is repeatedly observed in these farms can indeed be considered cruelty. The group has released a report titled RSPCA Assured, with assured in quotes, covering up cruelty on an industrial scale. An investigation into animal suffering and widespread regulation breaches on 45 RSPCA-Assured scheme farms in England and Scotland. In it, we can read, verified by a specialist barrister in animal welfare, we found 280 legal breaches and a further 94 breaches of DEFRA codes of practice. We have found pigs lying dead in the middle of pen aisles, chicks dead from dehydration and starvation, salmon and trout with eyes and body parts missing, laying hens having lost their feathers from distress, pigs dragging themselves across the floor because their legs aren't working, sheds holding up to 64,000 chickens at a time. Animal Rising has produced a very impressive high production video showing a summary of their findings, which expose the condition of factory farms of all types, including chickens, pigs and salmons, all of them rubber stamped under the RSPCA Assured scheme, which is supposed to only accept the farms with the best animal welfare. In it, activist Rose Patterson from Animal Rising says, "We are undertaking the largest investigation into the RSPCA in history, with over 40 farms, over 50 investigators, hundreds of hours of footage and official published reports. By the end of this video, you will see how the world's oldest and largest animal welfare organisation is covering up cruelty on an industrial scale, and how we take matters into our own hands and save an animal from certain death." The RSPCA Assured scheme is supposed to be the gold standard of British farming, and if this is the best, then I dread to see what the worst is. The RSPCA often claims that these farms are just one bad apple, but we're seeing time and time again proving that this is not the case. And something that they say that's pretty poignant in their video is that the whole barrel is rotten. It's not just one bad apple. If you visit these farms, you will see suffering, you will see exploitation, commodification, and you will probably see death. And this is before they're being sent off to be killed. The video also shows the rescuing of a young pig named Charlie from one of the farms, and Patterson saying, "We shouldn't be the ones having to rescue animals from the RSPCA. They should be rescuing animals from this industry. We're asking them to drop the Assured scheme and start telling the truth." What do you think? Will the RSPCA drop the Assured label? Animal Rising now has a petition people can sign to ask the RSPCA to drop their Assured scheme. In it, we can read, over the past 4 months, we have conducted the biggest investigation in UK history, covering 45 farms with 60 investigations. What we found was widespread and systemic suffering and factory farming. After seeing the footage of these investigations, RSPCA President Chris Packham has called the Assured scheme indefensible. It is a wonder that if this is supposed to be the best, then what on earth does the worst look like? We will leave a link to the petition down below, and we will also leave a link to the Animal Rising video. You can check it out for yourself, but watch with discretion, because it is a horrible insight to the truth of UK farms, and supposedly the ones with the highest welfare standards. Check the video out so you can see what high welfare looks like. Those are all the stories we have for you today. Hope that you found them insightful. Let us know down below what you thought of the stories. As always, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below and add all notifications so that you can see when we drop a new video just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to go vegan for the animals, because they are who it means everything to.